Welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV drama series. Today's drama story is about To All the FF14 Girls I've Loved. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. How it began... I started playing Final Fantasy XIV 3 years ago when a coworker recommended it to me. I had just been hired and he was my first friend there, so I thought that playing the same game would bring us closer since we seemed to have similar interests at the time. I was not really into MMOs like Final Fantasy XIV. I didn't like the combat system mainly because of the global cooldowns. I was more into action-based combat systems like in Assassin's Creed or Ninja Gaiden Sigma. However, I decided for the sake of the friendship to buy the game without even trying the free trial first. I bought the complete edition that had everything. I had no idea what class I wanted to be. My friend didn't do a good job at explaining what roles even are to begin with, or what would suit me, so I just chose Lancer for a reason I don't even remember. The lack of interesting or flashy skills in my opinion, and the lengthy MSQ dialogues didn't engage me in the game since I am really slow at and hate reading. I played it for a week or two and then quit for 3 years. Yes, you read that correctly, 3 whole years. During that time, I went from game to game to game, from Sea of Thieves to Rainbow Six Siege to MapleStory, until I finally had enough of the toxicity in those games and decided to give Final Fantasy XIV another try. I remembered a few interactions I had in Final Fantasy, such as me saying hello to someone and then they traded me 10,000 back just to be nice, and other really positive things that happened that left an impression on me. Final Fantasy XIV's community seemed nice, inviting, and friendly, which was just what I needed because I was having a horrible time with my issues in real life. I played through the MSQ, tolerating the combat system and Lancer's, in my opinion, boring skill set up until level 50, and someone told me that I could pick up Samurai. The weeb that I am, I got really excited to ditch Dragoon and get Samurai, which is my main class to this day. Ah, yeah. I love Samurai too, clearly. Before we start, we should know that I think of myself as a people pleaser. I love to make others happy by helping them or giving them gifts. I love to give and I hate to take. Taking anything, be it gifts, money, or even time, makes me feel super guilty and bad. That is how I was brought up, and I can't help it. A simple thank you or a smile is more than enough payment for me to make others happy because it brings me so much joy. It does feel good to make other people happy. Chapter 1. Moon. This is girl number 1. I had met a few friends along my way, clicked with some people and others not. Standard stuff. But then I saw this female aura. They've all been auras today, haven't they? I saw this female aura. Let's call her Moon. Moon's appearance was my type, so I gave her a compliment, as I do when I think people do a good job with their character creation, or if I like their style, or if they have a clever name or adventure plate. Moon took a while to respond, but was happy to just give the compliment. I wasn't expecting anything back other than a simple thank you, but what I got was a whole conversation. Although Moon's responses were very slow, I usually make very charming comments to people, and I mean them playfully. But I guess Moon took them as flirting, and she started flirting back. Then Moon moved her character closer and closer to mine until finally she was super close. As we got to know each other, if I sat on a bench, she would sit right in my lap. About this time, I heard about the eternal bonding ceremony and was just reading about it. I was intrigued by the idea of the teleport ring, and so I talked to Moon about it, who immediately said, "Yes, I'll marry you." This caught me off guard because I wasn't really proposing, but decided to go with the mood and bought the premium package for both of us. We did the marriage quest and booked a time slot. While waiting for that day to come, we talked more and more and eventually added each other on Discord. This was when I found out that English was not her main language. Unfortunately, the misunderstandings and slow responses was because she was using an online translator to talk to me. They were proving to be difficult to deal with, you know, a language barrier. I felt really bad since she was super happy about the bonding ceremony, but I just couldn't go on with it anymore. So I told her the heartbreaking news. She was an amazing, kind-hearted person who was sweet beyond belief. She was sad at first, but she told me she understood, and we are still friends. I hope someday she finds her person. Damn. Okay, so you dropped her because she wasn't fluent in English and was using a translator. Yeah, like they said language barrier, so just not what the OP wanted. Chapter 2, Sam. I was in New Gridania when I met this female aura. Yes, I have a type. Let's call her Sam, short for Single Aura Mom. Okay, OP's type is auras. I complimented her style, as I often do, and she also gave me more than a simple thank you back. She started talking to me. It felt like role-playing, so I acted and spoke how my character would. We seemed to randomly meet in the same spot pretty often. When we did, I would tell her more and more about my RP story, and once again, my charm was misinterpreted for flirting. I think that's normal, though, for people to think of someone charming kind of flirting. Sam would marvel at the amazing coincidence that we kept meeting up by chance in the wild. Later, she told me that she was actually stalking me, looking me up and finding me in game because she liked talking to me. Every time I met up with her, I would drop everything and RP with her. One day, she told me about her RP son. Let's call him Pizza. She told me that Pizza firmly believes that his father is an aura. So I took it as a hint that she may be asking me to be his father and maybe even her husband. So I said, sure, why not? I'll RP as his father. And so I did. We RP'd a father/son reunion, and I made up an excuse for being absent in Pizza's life this whole time. We RP'd here and there and everywhere. Me, Sam, and my now RP son, Pizza. That sounded so Dr. Seuss. We RP'd here, there, and everywhere. Me, Sam, and my now RP son, Pizza. When we were thinking of RP ideas one day, Sam confessed to me that she had a second son from a different baby daddy named Snake. And the both of them, her second son and Snake, were trying to force Sam to get married to Snake. She felt pressured and didn't really want to do it. And I told her that she shouldn't do anything she didn't want to. And I also wanted her for myself in character in-game. So I'm no saint, but I had heard things about Snake. Snake had cheated on 3 girls at the same time, all 3 of which were friends of mine. I really had kind intentions towards Sam. I didn't want her to get cheated on, but Sam kind of brushed off my advice and decided to go forward with the wedding with Snake anyways. The night of the ceremony, Sam's second son killed Snake before he could get to the chapel. What? Snake's son killed Snake. So the wedding was canceled. Sam would never tell me why her second son would kill his own father. She and the son would just laugh about it. I always wondered if this was a joke or not. Okay, they just wanted that for the story, I guess. Since the wedding to Snake was off, I told her that if she was up for marrying me, my offer stands. I told her, take your time and give me an answer when you have one. A day passed, then a week, and then 2 weeks. I was occasionally asking her if she had an answer like once a week. You're pestering her, like poking her every week. You want to get married? You want to get married? She would either change the subject or go AFK. So I took the hint and stopped reminding her after that. I asked a very good friend of ours, let's call him Guardian, to watch over Sam. I was worried about her. She wouldn't believe me if I told her about Snake being a cheater. She would just think I was trying to make him look bad so I could have her all to myself. So I asked Guardian to keep an eye on Snake. He was a guardian angel type of guy to all of us. The names are making sense. Guardian because he's a guardian angel, and Snake because OP thinks he's a snake. Guardian then opened up to me and told me that he actually wanted to marry Sam. The selflessness in me made me instantly want to back off because I instinctively back off from any girl who one of my friends is interested in. So I didn't tell him that I also wanted to marry Sam, but I had been rejected. He made me promise not to tell Sam of his intentions, and I promised that I wouldn't. Guardian stopped playing as much soon after that. I found out that he got Sam to watch some anime with him, and he assumed because of that there was some romance between them. Unfortunately, Guardian misread the situation and ended up being rejected by Sam. Guardian was so upset by the rejection that he quit the game. I still wanted to marry Sam. She told me, "I'm sorry for not giving you an answer, but I just want to say no for absolutely no reason." And I was like, okay, fair enough. We kept talking as friends, and one day she asked me, "How would you feel if a girl asked you out? Are you against it? Or do you prefer the traditional way of a guy always having to ask a girl out?" To which I replied, "I actually think it's cute if a girl did that, and I see no problem in it. If someone has feelings for another, they should speak up, regardless of gender." A few minutes passed, and then she asked me out. Even though she had rejected me twice before, I always wanted it, and it made so much sense RP-wise. So I thought to myself, third time's a charm, and said yes. We RP'd us getting back together with my son Pizza, and later on I brought up marriage again. She still wasn't sure, but I thought she kind of agreed more or less, so I impulsively bought the gold package this time for both of us. We were on a Discord call and I could hear her reaction. She was so happy when she received the promised wristlet. Her reaction was priceless. It was the most adorable thing I have ever heard in my life. She was overly happy and her emotions gave me butterflies in my stomach, and I was smiling the whole time. I had never felt so much joy in making someone else happy that much before. This reaction told me everything. She definitely wants this to happen. Sam would sometimes tell me that she didn't always want to be in character in game, that she thought I took it too seriously, and that she only wanted to do it when she was in the mood. During this time, she was hanging out a lot with a friend. We will call him Villain. The OP gives every bad person like terrible names, Villain and Snake. And I thought they were a bit too close for comfort. But who am I to prevent her from having that anyway? So I let her have her freedom and did not complain about it. As our wedding day was approaching, she started acting weird. She didn't hug me back. She didn't even talk to me much. And when I asked her what was wrong, she said, "I just don't have the energy for it today." And I said, okay. And we went to the wedding hall and stood outside. Her friend Villain comes and starts playing music to her, obviously using mods, so there's no effort or skill in what he's doing. He's just clicking a single button. Sam goes and stands close to him, too close, leaving me on my own. I thought to myself, that's fine. She can show her friend appreciation. So I walk over and give her a hug to break the ice. She ignores me. I decided to walk away and give her space since she said she didn't have the energy for it. But when Villain is done playing, suddenly she has all the energy in the world, clapping to him and praising him, really. I'm so confused here because it's not hard to put energy by pressing one button in the game. It's just like emoting is just a single button. Unless she was talking about like the RP world, that she didn't have energy for their RP story. Really? I tried to brush it off and we went into the wedding hall. Our wedding begins. Sam was just silent through the entire ceremony. And when I forgot to ring the last bell, she asked me, "Can I go now?" I thought, wow, where is all this coming from? So I apologized and rang the last bell. We exited the hall and she immediately asks, "So where's the mount?" I knew she didn't have a two-person mount up until then, but I didn't really think until I started connecting all the dots. That she was just using me and my proposal to get the mount. It didn't make sense since she had seemed so happy before. Was her reaction just a lie? It seemed so genuine. I told her, turn the quest in to get your mount. I didn't say any more. I was very sad, and it showed. Sam asked me, what's wrong? So I told her what I was thinking, and she just turned on me and lashed the hell out of me, calling me names, calling me childish, and told me to keep sulking, she said. I treat you like I treat any other friend. But she knows that I take RP seriously and that I would want to be treated like a husband, treated differently than she treats her friends. In character, at least. She said she couldn't take the RP marriage seriously and that the whole wedding had made her anxious because I had invited so many of my friends. That upset me for a while, but I decided to try to treat Sam how she wanted to be treated, even though I hated it. Every time I would use my ring to teleport to her, she was with Villain. God knows what they were doing in their private tells, but I found them in one of our romantic spots that we had a special moment in. A spot that she had shown me in the past. When I saw that, I completely gave up and never used my ring again. I started logging in less and less to avoid talking to her until Sam became inactive herself. They sound like they're from two different worlds. The OP wants to RP. Sam was never serious with RPing, and I don't think she was really interested in OP at all, even though OP like really wanted to be with her and tried so hard to make it work. They're just on different pages. Chapter 3. Princess. Girl number 3. One day, I was in La Nausea doing some fates for my challenge log when I thought it would be fun to help any sprouts by flying them around wherever they needed to go. I saw this female aura, who I will call Princess. When I offered her assistance, she said, "No thank you, I'm fine." But then a few minutes later, she spoke to me again. Actually, I do need help." So I asked what she needed, and she said, insert e-girl tone here, "I need you to kill this big bad monster for me." Princess sounded super girly. No offense to all the girls out there. I knew something was not right, but as I always do, I went with the flow anyway. She wanted me to kill an A-rank ARR hunt mark, and I wasn't sure if you could solo those, but I fought it anyway. I wasn't fully geared up, but I kept fighting, self-healing, and sweating my butt off until I killed it. I was surprised and shocked at my own prowess, and the whole time Princess was cheering and clapping for me. After that, we started talking more and getting to know each other. We found out that we lived somewhat near each other, and we clicked like I have never clicked with anyone before. One day, we started talking about the bonding ceremony, joking around. Man, he talks about the bonding ceremony with every girl. This is the third girl he's talked about the bonding ceremony with. Joking around about it like, wouldn't it be funny if we got married for the ring and mount? Are you OP? Are you sure that's what you want? Are you sure you want the ring and the mount, which you already have? Princess started joking and calling me, "Dear husband." I had already done the in-game divorce with my last marriage, so I really wanted a teleport ring again. Okay, he wants a teleport ring again. Don't hate the playa. We ended up getting married, but we didn't invite anyone because we weren't really a thing. But we added each other on Discord and talked more, getting on private calls. She was getting more and more into me. She seemed to like everything about me, and we started to develop real feelings for each other. We were finally actually a thing. We talked all the time, and I even kept telling her to say hello to her mom when I heard her mom in the background. Her mom and her whole family started to ask questions about me. This was getting real very fast. We even started talking about moving in together. We were doing content all the time. I had always wanted to do the MSQ with someone since I love doing content with one other person. It motivates me. Okay. This guy really wants a girlfriend in the game. Or girlfriend in game real life kind of thing. In every other relationship I had up until that point, I was always the one in the relationship who gives more, who loves more, who puts more effort in and cares more. But Princess outmatched me in all of those things. Princess showered me with love, affection, and care. She put so much effort into the relationship that I couldn't keep up with her, let alone do more as I normally do. And so the pleaser in me started feeling horrible, and I felt that I could not take from her anymore. So I opened up and told her that. She said she was okay with me putting less effort into the relationship than her. So I gave in, although I absolutely hated it. I gave in as to not upset her because of my selfless nature. I don't know, he loves saying he's very selfless. One day, I decided to surprise her with something nice. I had met a female Lalafell around this time who was not a demon for once. Instead, she was a real angel, one of the sweetest people I have ever met. I asked her to be our RP daughter. She agreed, and she was really busy IRL, so I had to keep this a secret from Princess and only tell her that I have a surprise for her. The day came when they were both online, so I introduced them and told Princess that we had a daughter! A nice gesture, surely, I thought to myself. I feel like this is not gonna go well. It shows that I am committed to this relationship, but boy was I wrong. Princess was highly upset, and after the meeting, she lashed out at me about it. Somehow, this had made her feel weird and bad. I was sad because I was only trying to make her happy, but instead, I upset her. Wait, slow down. Lalafell are not children. Lalafell are not children. Why is he saying this is our daughter? And also, you have to tell someone in advance, like, to plan your RP story, right? You don't just like, surprise, you actually have a daughter now. Like, maybe their RP story didn't want that. This is so funny, right? Like, isn't this so weird? Ta-da! Yeah, you can't... Lalafells are little adults, okay, people? I'm getting worried that OP is starting to make Lalafells like children in this game. Because that's never a good path to go down. But although, when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV in the beginning, I did think Lalafells were like little children. And I know a lot of people thought that way. But then, once we learned, yeah, they're actually little adults, we're like, oh, okay, cool. So, I don't know, maybe the OP was new? No, it doesn't sound like he's new anymore to the game, so I don't know. Weird. Lalafells aren't children, no. Think of them as little dwarves. Gnomes and dwarves. Mad because small. Soon after that, she invited a friend of hers to do a trial with us. A guy friend. We were joking around in party chat about the trial when he said something that annoyed me. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it upset me and pissed me off. Okay, so Princess's friend said something that annoyed the OP now. But I let it slide until one day Princess was wanting to invite him to another party, and I said, nah, f that guy, I don't like him. I said this in voice chat with a few people in there, and all of a sudden, it got awkwardly silent in the call. I had made Princess upset again. I told her afterwards that I was sorry and shouldn't have said that, but I still didn't want to help him because I didn't like him. She got really upset then, and I felt like I was too upset. Like, she made me feel like he mattered to her more than I did, and she was willing to end the relationship just because I said that about her friend. Princess then decided to join a new FC. The members of this FC were the thirstiest people I have ever seen. Everyone was always following Princess around all the time, to the point where it made me, as her boyfriend, uncomfortable. One day, one of them started stalking us. We went somewhere else, but he followed and just stood there staring at us. It was very creepy and uncomfortable, so I told him, leave us alone. Sorry, it's just so fun. It's so weird. But it didn't do anything to make him leave. Then her FC leader just started randomly insulting me for no reason, calling my outfits ugly and being totally disrespectful, even cursing at me. One day, I found him using my striking dummy, and he was rubbing it in my face, saying, easy free striking dummy. I didn't like that, so I removed it and put it in my storage. I left and came back later, and he was using it again. Princess had taken it out of storage and put it back in the yard so he could use it. I asked her, what the hell? Why did you put it back? It's mine, and this guy is being rude to me. You should side with me, your own boyfriend, not him. Who is he? Your FC leader that you met like a few days ago? They're freaking fighting over about a striking dummy. I took the striking dummy and put it in my inventory so she couldn't place it for him. But Princess went and bought another striking dummy and put it down for him again. I hate it so much when my very own girlfriend or my loved and closest people side with and prioritize everyone else over me, even when I'm in the right. This didn't sit well with me. Having guy friends is fine, but constantly hanging out with guys and sitting too close to them is not fine. You don't need to do that for them to be your friends. Princess knew that I was jealous, but she didn't respect it. Different pages again. I don't know what to say. What is... Okay, chapter 4. Harley. We don't know what happened to Princess, but we're going to Harley now. When I met Harley, we really clicked. We shared the same taste in music, liked dark things, and we both had a similar past. Harley was a submissive, and she always complained to me about how hard it is to find a dominant girl. Coincidentally, I had just met a dom girl, so I introduced them, thinking I was doing them both a favor. Let's call the dom. Very creative. At first, neither of them was appreciative at all that I had introduced them. Oh my god, wait, what? I introduced you to her. Thank me. At first, neither of them was appreciative at all that I had introduced them, but then they somehow got together and started talking and doing content and excluding me. I didn't complain. Dom suddenly started liking me and flirting with me, and I still liked Harley and was flirting with her, and Dom and Harley were also flirting with each other. I was still with Princess. What? Okay, so he's still with Princess at this moment, but I didn't tell either of them. Oh, you being the snake now. But I didn't tell either of them, since I was still upset with what Princess had done with that striking dummy. Sorry, I added the striking dummy into the writing. Dom suddenly hated everything and started to throw little tantrums and threatened to quit if we excluded her. She was hard to understand, since when we tried to include her, she would refuse. Finally, Dom changed servers and stopped talking to us both. Okay, so now it's Opie and Harley, while Opie is still dating Princess. I still hadn't told Harley about Princess, and Harley was still flirting with me, so I finally told her that I have a girlfriend. I told her about how Princess was treating me and how upset it made me. Harley thought of an idea. What if she got me to cheat on my girlfriend with her as revenge? So I did. It wasn't right. It was absolutely wrong, but I did it anyway, since Harley and I both liked dark things. Okay, so now Princess is hanging out with the FC leader, and now OP is trying to put revenge on Princess by hanging out with Harley. How are these stories real? I don't know. This is the RP world for sure. Since Harley and I both like dark things, like having an RP story full of deception, revenge, and even murder, as I would gladly kill for her when we were in character. Harley enjoyed being my little secret and enjoyed hiding our relationship from Princess. As much as Harley enjoyed all the deception, I decided to break up with Princess. The things she had done upset me, and I felt horrible for cheating. Plus, she was too good for me. I wanted her to find someone better than me who could keep up with her and put more effort into the relationship. Princess and I stayed friends for a short time after we broke up. Her mom kept asking about me, and she had to tell her mom that we were no longer a thing, and eventually distanced herself from me, which I respected, until I couldn't stand it any longer and decided to check up on her. I knew the breakup had broken her heart, and even though I know now that I shouldn't have done that because it was opening up old wounds for her, I did anyway. Princess told me in an angry tone, "I found someone better than you." I said, "Good. That is what I wanted for you." She said, "No, I mean, he's way better than you. Actually, you know who he is." I knew immediately who she meant. Oh, I see. It's your FC leader, isn't it? I asked. Bingo. Oh, bingo, she replied. So my suspicions were confirmed. She was probably cheating on me with this idiot, and she was putting down my striking dummy for him. It's actually written there. She was probably cheating on me with this idiot when she was putting down my striking dummy for him. This made me feel a little less bad for cheating on her. I stopped talking to her then. Forever. Oh my lord. Not the striking dummy again. So now I was free to be with Harley, but she started to disappear in the middle of conversations and breaking promises to me. She started hanging out with an IRL friend and would cancel plans that she made with me to play with him. I found out that Harley was married to him in-game and she would not break the ring to marry me. So once again, I am not my own girlfriend's #1 priority. Am I asking too much? I let it slide once, twice, endless times until it got the better of me and I couldn't do it anymore. Harley was spoiling the content for me since I was having a hard time enjoying myself. I took that as a sign to leave the relationship, that it just was not working for me. I miss Harley though, and I am still friends with her. Epilogue. Harley had an IRL boyfriend the entire time that she was unhappy and wanted to break up with, but couldn't get herself to do it. Sam had an IRL fiance that she was also unhappy with and couldn't get herself to break up with him either. And I, the OP, have a wife that I am also unhappy with and we are very close to separating. No happy ending. Sorry, but this ain't a movie. The end. Oh lord. I think you guys gotta all sort out your relationships IRL first before diving into online relationships. This is... what the fuck? It's so... How do you have time to fight with a girl online about a striking dummy? It's crazy. The ending was so like blunt and it was just like, boom, this ain't a movie. I just thought the story was so strange that I was like, I need to read it. Looks like a cheap movie someone made as a school project. Yeah, he wanted to be their main guy. First priority. Girls that he met in the game. Okay, wait. There was one girl that probably would have put him first priority, and it was the first one. It was, what was her name? Moon. The one that was, not fluent in English and using a translator. He was very picky with girls, but he didn't like it when girls were picky with him. That's the vibe I got. And he's very into art role-playing, and other girls that he meets aren't into role-playing as hard as he is. And these girls are not trying to make him first priority, anything like that. What I took away from all that is, if you've never RP'd, don't do it. I'm getting the same message too, Ryan. I like how they snuck in really quickly at the end. Oh, by the way, I was married the whole time. Bye. I know, right? No, someone did say that in my chat though. They're like, I think it was from a different story in the past. They're like, yeah, people are always like taken IRL, married IRL, and then they find like relationships and role play and have 5 wives, and it's like they have a second life. They have a second life in the game and have another relationship. This guy wanted to be praised and treated like a king and be someone's #1. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this Final Fantasy XIV drama story. If you have any of your own drama stories that you'd like me to share and read out anonymously, feel free to reach out to my Discord, discord.gg/Pathra. And a big thank you to my kind members who support my YouTube content.